Hi, I'm Mona Cohen. I'm the program director at the JCC, and this is my Moment of Torah. This week's portion is Bo, and Bo has to do with the final 3 plagues that are put on Egypt by God. Aaron and Moses keep approaching Pharaoh to let our people go, and to let our people go not just to be free, but also to be able to be free to worship God. They come to Pharaoh, they say, if you do not let our people go, locusts will rain on the land. And Pharaoh goes, well, I'll let the men go, you guys go, but I'm keeping the children, and I'm keeping your flocks and your herds. Well, that wasn't good enough for Aaron and Moses. It was not good enough for God, because the concept of kahila, we are a community. Community is everybody. Community is not just the men and women, it's also the children. So the locusts were rained upon the land because Pharaoh refused to allow the children and flocks to go. And that's a very important part of our Seder, is talking about all of us as a people, as a kahila, being able to leave Egypt. Now, when I was a little girl, at our Seder, my grandpa would just read the whole Seder through very quickly in Hebrew, and we kids didn't really know what was going on. Today, we want to really help make sure that children understand that it's as if we were all leaving Egypt and how important it is. Children are our future. Children being committed and understanding is really important. These are 3 little objects that we use now in some of the Seders that really get kids involved. Here's the locust that we use. Here's the darkness. All the kids, everybody gets to wear sunglasses. And here's the slaying of the firstborn. So today, children are really much more involved in the Seder. So back to those days. So the locusts rain down on the land. Aaron and Moses are called back. And this time they threaten darkness. And Pharaoh says, okay, I'll let you go, I'll let you adults go, I'll even let the kids go, but I'm not going to let the herds and the flocks go. And you could think, well, okay, that's cattle, that's livestock. But those were the items that we used for sacrifice, for worship of God. So again, sorry, Pharaoh, we have to take our people, our children, our flocks, and off they went. And darkness came upon the land, and Pharaoh brought them back again, and the last plague happened, and that was the slaying of the firstborn. And it was, in my mind, an idea of karma, because previously Pharaoh had taken the firstborn of the Israelites. Moses had been taken away and hidden, otherwise he would have been killed. And guess what happened? What happened to the Israelites now was happening to the Egyptians. It was payback time. It was time where that karma really hit. It was a time where Pharaoh could have realized that how the horror of what was going to happen to his people, he had already put on the Israelites. But it did not happen that way. And the firstborn were slain. And at that point, finally, the Israelites were allowed to leave. So again, the idea of kahila, to me, is a really important concept in all of this. That the whole, not only kahila of the Jewish people, but the community as a larger group. There were mixed multitudes that went out. What does that mean? That means that the other people, the slaves, other people around them, also took that opportunity to be free. And they were all part of our community. It's to say, it's that way now. Our kahila, our community, is not just the Jewish people. Our community is the bigger community that we live in, and the importance of caring for our community. So When we look at this portion, of course it has to do with freedom and the retelling of the story of how we are able to have our freedom as a Jewish people. But in my mind, it's also a telling of a story of the importance of Kehillah and the realization that karma happens then and even till today.